Hello there. It's a Saturday, and I may be looking a little grumpy. It's a very good reason for it.
I don't know what the problem is. I really don't. I think you're being very silly. Mike was very kind.
Look at that.
So he lent me this lovely black, I think it's meant to be a T-shirt, but it's more of a frock, really. I think he's a bit rotund. But what happened was, on the way over here, I dropped coffee on my top, and I don't have a spare top. So he very kindly said I could borrow one of his special jumpers.
It's not a jumper.
Kind of is, Jim.
It's a jersey. It's your terminology right.
Well,
And
what?
he's done that on purpose because he knew it would irritate the living shite out of me.
Why? Because it's very slimming. It is very slim in colour and matches my new boots, which are furry.
Do you even know what that is?
Yes, it's a black frock jumper thing.
That's a Sharks jersey.
Oh, he said it was a rugby thing, yes.
I'm a Lions supporter.
Why didn't you wear your Lions jumper then?
Because
Do you want me to wait while you go and get a Lions jumper?
This is my uniform for this particular show.
Okay. So why should what I'm wearing affect you so badly? Especially because they were playing. I mean, these chaps were playing with your chaps last weekend. And he gave me so much information. I wrote it on my hand, if you can see. So apparently, there's a chap called Werner Koch. Is that right?
Werner Koch, yeah.
Yes. And he's a centre. And he's apparently very good. And then also, the captain was called flanker.
No, Sam, the captain was not called flanker. The captain was a flanker.
He said he was a wing. How can he be a wing and a
Werner Koch is usually a wing, but he was playing centre last weekend.
Well, then who's flanker?
It's a position on a field.
I don't think there's any reason to be snapping at me, especially as Mike said your team didn't do very well at all. He gave me a few messages to give to you. One of them is that he said, oh, I can't read that. Oh, he said you mustn't do so many forward passes because that's what got you in trouble. So you should tell them.
Tell them what?
That they shouldn't do so many forward passes. You keep saying it's your team, so you should tell your team. You shouldn't do so many forward passes.
It's a bit pointless telling them that now.
Why?
Because there are only two teams left in the bloody competition, and that's the Lions and the I can hardly say the word.
You just said it's the Lions, so they can have...
I mean, not the Lions, the Bulls and the Sharks.
So you don't even know when they're playing. You can't be that
They're
difficult.
not playing because it's the Bulls and the Sharks in the final. And the final means there are only two teams left.
Well, they could be a reserve for one of the teams in case one of the other teams didn't feel well.
Holy commode.
You know, like
please
like
release me from this.
I think you're being very rude. I've learned so much. And then, apparently, if they win this next game, they're the big winners. And they get to cup.
It's the final. The winners of the final are the winners of the competition.
Yes, I understand that. I just said they got a cup. You're very aggressive. Maybe you've been throwing too many forward passes. Anyway, I think this is a lovely outfit. A little big for me. Well, a lot big for me. But you know what I also like about it is it's like the All Blacks outfit. I think people would play a lot better if they look nice in what they were playing in.
If they look nice.
Yes, I always feel better and perform better when I'm dressed to suit myself.
Have you ever been to a rugby game?
I don't need to go to a rugby game. I watch the All Blacks and they win everything. And they're also wearing really nice black outfits. With some of these outfits, it's hit and miss, these rugby ensembles.
Rugby ensemble?
Hit and miss. Absolutely hit and miss.
A rugby ensemble?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
You know, a little bit of a, I mean, when you're out there being a little bit of a symphony in spandex.
A symphony in spandex.
And also, you know what else the All Blacks have? Because during the World Cup, I watched them because of Dan Carter's calves. And they have these little sort of like sequin numbers just here. And I thought that was quite something, a bit, you know, forward thinking and very kind of, I don't know, non-binary. And apparently it's to keep
what do you mean non-binary?
it's to keep the ball tight. It's made of silicone to keep the ball tight so it doesn't slip out if it's raining.
What does non-binary mean?
Well, you know, it means that it can suit either. Anyone can wear it. And I thought that was quite nice. Sort of a sequiny approach, which is also practical. Essentially, very like me. I am a sequiny approach, which is very practical. No, really, I thought that was super. And the other thing I thought was that's really lucky in the rain, although you wouldn't need it if you played indoors.
Played indoors?
Well, I've seen sometimes you guys play indoors. No, when I was still working in radio and we'd have the TV on in the back of the studio, you know you were there. And then there would be rugby on and sometimes there was a roof. Yeah, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the rain.
It's not indoors.
Well, what would you call being under a roof? I think you've got yourself very upset about something because I'm telling you things you haven't thought about before. And I think you should do what Mike says and tell your team not to throw the forward, the pass thing for the things that are forward passes. Also not to be rude. Also maybe get a more flattering ensemble. Then you'd want to run more to show off on TV.
I try
to help wherever I can.
I can't believe what this woman has just done to me.
Black team. Don't you have a joke or something?
I actually don't know what to do. For once, I have no words.
Well, this is normally where you get the words from the rose. And you do a little thing. Or do you feel like you'd be better off doing that? Do you know how you'd feel more confident? If you did the thing in the black jumper.
I'm not putting a Sharks jersey. I am not putting a Sharks jersey on full stop.
Mike says he's got a white one.
I'm not putting on a Sharks jersey full frigging stop. Okay, back to things that make me happy. So there I was, for a change, at the Old Rose in Petervale. And one of the guys was coming up with some really stupid things. He was saying some really stupid stuff. Just like Samantha has been doing for this entire show.
I've been practical. Maybe he was saying practical stuff.
So anyway, we were saying some stupid stuff, and somebody eventually turned around to him. I'm not going to mention names here. What is said at the Rose in Petervale stays at the Rose in Petervale, okay? So he's saying these few things that are fairly doff. And somebody turns around and says, "You're not very bright, are you?" And he said, "What do you mean, bright? I'm bright." He said, "You know how many grown-ups there are who," and he was talking like this because he's quite old. Most of the blokes at the Old Rose are quite old. That's why I go there as well. I feel a lot younger. He said, "You know what? You know how many adults there are who thought that two penguins walked all the way from the Antarctic to the Middle East to go and get on a bloody ark? Think about it."
They wore black too. Have a lovely weekend. Bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.